Welcome to Lit Apple, your home for English literature and art education.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into the mechanics of social engagement loops. We're going to deconstruct the invisible forces that are keeping you glued to your screen and, more importantly, how to navigate them responsibly. We are unpacking the exact science, the psychology, and the algorithms that make modern apps so incredibly hard to put down. Let's get into it. So, why can't you stop scrolling? Seriously, think about the last time you picked up your phone just to check one single message. You tell yourself, just a quick look, I swear, only to find yourself still tapping, swiping, and scrolling an entire hour later while your coffee goes completely cold. Look, you aren't alone here, and more importantly, this is absolutely not an accident. It is the result of highly sophisticated design. Section 1, the anatomy of a hook. To really understand why this endless scrolling happens, we've got to look under the hood at the specific psychological engineering that is designed to capture and hold your attention. At the very core of this entire digital attention economy is what we call the social engagement loop. Now, this is basically a behavioral model designed to foster long-term user engagement by building actual habits. Essentially, it's a system that takes your everyday, fleeting emotions, maybe a momentary spike of boredom or a quick pang of loneliness, and it transforms them into deep-seated automatic digital behaviors. Now, according to Nir Eyal's famous hooked model, this cycle works in 4 distinct steps. First, you have a trigger. This could be an external cue, like a notification ping on your screen, or an internal one, like feeling anxious or just bored. Second, you take an action. It's usually something incredibly simple, like opening an app or just scrolling down an inch. Third, you get a variable reward. This is a meaningful but entirely unpredictable reinforcement. And finally, step 4, the investment. You leave a comment, you upload a photo, or you just spend time feeding the algorithm data. This investment literally loads the next trigger, and the whole cycle just begins all over again. Section 2, rewards of the tribe. Now, the absolute most powerful stage of this 4-part cycle is step 3, the variable reward. It's a psychological mechanism that operates exactly like a slot machine in a Las Vegas casino, and it is exactly what makes the loop so captivating. Just consider how social validation works in practice. Every single time you post something on Facebook and then wait for the likes and comments to roll in, you are experiencing a variable reward. You never know exactly how many likes you're going to get or who is going to comment. That uncertainty creates intense intrigue, and it releases a massive surge of dopamine in your brain. Nir Eyal actually refers to this specific type of social validation as the rewards of the tribe. We are biologically wired to seek connection and status within our group, right? Well, this interface just digitizes that primal drive. And we see this play out visually in different ways, too. On platforms like Pinterest, the infinite scroll leverages what's called the rewards of the hunt. Users are endlessly searching for resources, information, or even just beautiful imagery. And because the content is user-generated, the variety is quite literally infinite. You never know what that next swipe is going to reveal. It offers this highly variable stream of visual surprises that acts as an instant cure for boredom. Section 3, algorithmic amplification. But here's the thing, human psychology is only half the equation here. The other half relies on incredibly powerful algorithms calculating exactly how to keep you locked right in that loop. To give you an idea of the sheer power of these algorithms, consider this incredibly striking quote from Tim Estes, which was featured in Newsweek. He said, AI is the fentanyl added to the digital heroin of social media. Algorithmic amplification uses your viewing duration, your clicks, and your engagement to constantly optimize your feed. It's an accelerant so unbelievably potent that it takes a system that is already habit-forming and just hypercharges it. So let's see exactly how this builds momentum algorithmically. These recommendation systems enter into a continuous feedback loop. Step 1, the system detects early engagement on a particular piece of content. Step 2, it immediately updates its feed rankings in near real time. Step 3, it amplifies that content to a progressively wider and wider audience. As your interactions feed the machine, it learns exactly what pushes your buttons, often completely homogenizing your preferences over time just to keep you maximally engaged. And it's not just the big tech giants using this. Professional digital raters use these exact same mechanics. Because today's readers, meaning you and I, are highly distracted and traversing rapid algorithms, professional raters apply the hook value CTA framework as outlined in the Lit Apple's guide. You hook the reader in under 2 seconds. You deliver immediate value based on a very clear content pillar, and then you provide a clear call to action. It's the exact same psychological loop you experience on social media, just adapted for modern digital communication. Section 4, Rewiring the Teenage Brain. While these loops are clearly masterful at driving metrics and keeping us engaged, we absolutely have to look clinically at the severe neurophysiological harm they can inflict, especially when it comes to the developing teenage brain. Clinical studies are showing us a really startling reality. Excessive social media use actually alters brain structure. Let's walk through these findings because they are huge. First, look at the prefrontal cortex. This is the area responsible for decision-making and inhibitory control. Addiction here actually leads to reduced volume and severely impaired impulse control. Next, we have the basal ganglia, our brain's core reward center. Studies show severe overactivation from constant stimulation. And finally, the amygdala, which controls impulsive behaviors and emotions, reveals reduced gray matter and emotional dysregulation. These aren't just bad habits we're talking about. They are measurable, physical, neurological changes. A direct consequence of this brain alteration is what neuroscientists call reduced reward sensitivity. Because the brain's dopamine system is constantly overactivated by those unpredictable high-intensity rewards we talked about, it adapts. The result? A massive decline in the pleasure you get from natural, everyday, real-world rewards. This is a classic hallmark of addiction, where adolescents increasingly struggle to find any joy in normal, offline activities. Section 5, Ethical Digital Design. Because these loops leverage psychological behaviors that often operate entirely outside of our conscious control, the creators of these digital platforms have a profound ethical responsibility here. We have to actively work to heal the digital ecosystem. So platform designers must start prioritizing user well-being over sheer engagement metrics. What does that look like? Well, it means capping infinite doom scrolling, like actually notifying users when they are caught up, instead of feeding them a bottomless pit of content. It also means limiting the abuse of those unpredictable variable rewards, mitigating social validation traps, maybe by hiding like counts, for instance, and crucially, providing real transparency. Users need the tools to understand and control the algorithms that dictate their own feeds. And for modern digital writers and content creators, ethical content creation means adopting what we call a human-in-the-loop workflow. In an age of generative AI, you don't just let the machines spam the internet with addictive noise. Instead, the human steps up to define the strategy and set the boundaries. Sure, the AI assists with generating high-volume drafts, but the human always steps back in to fact-check, verify the truth, and inject genuine personal voice. It's about ensuring real value over manipulative clickbait. So, we all have a role to play in reshaping this attention economy. Whether you are a user trying to break a habit, a designer building a new interface, or a writer crafting a message, you have to ask yourself one question. Are you writing for genuine human connection, or are you just programming the next loop? For prompts, checklists, and more, check out Digital Writing in the AI Age, a lit Apple practical guide. Click here to get your copy.
If you enjoyed this exploration of literature and art, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for updates.